Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a perfect film, but could it have been made more perfecter? Let's find out by taking a look at what didn't make the final cut. These scenes have been available for years on different VHS tapes, such as this one, and on the hundreds of different DVD and Blu-ray versions. Let's start with an extended sequence where the orderlies are even bigger pieces of shit than they were in the original movie.
I don't like to see the patients disrupting their rooms like this. See that she takes her Thorazine.
Time to take your meds, Connor.
You take it.
It's just overkill here, and they accomplish the same thing later, much faster, when the lead singer of Bare Naked Ladies licks Sarah Connor. Following that sequence, we get the infamous Kyle Reese dream sequence, and this always rubbed me the wrong way. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing Michael Biehn again, but something about this dream version of him giving Sarah advice and comforting her failed to resonate with me emotionally.
Where's our son, Sarah? He's all alone. You have to protect him. You're strong, Sarah. Stronger than you ever thought you could be.
I need you. Stay with me.
This is Sarah's story this time around, and even though it's all in her mind, she doesn't need him helping her get back on her feet.
On your feet, soldier.
And when it's put back in the movie, it grinds everything to a halt, especially since it comes right before the nuclear holocaust sequence, which, once this gets taken out, gets moved to later in the movie. There was a nice extended sequence with Miles Dyson, and it had some good character moments for Joe Morton.
Miles, it's Sunday. You promised to take the kids to Raging Waters today.
I can't.
But why is that so goddamn important, Miles?
Imagine a jet airliner with a pilot that never gets tired, never makes mistakes, never shows up to work with a hangover.
Your heart and your mind are in here, but it doesn't love you like we do.
But ultimately, it's just too much time spent away from Sarah, John, and the Terminator. Cameron already establishes Morton's work ethic in other ways in the movie, and we still get a sense that he's a good family man in the theatrical cut. This is an excellent deleted scene, though, a nice glimpse into his life. Besides, if you keep this scene, you're adding a second lick to the movie. What is this, Flesh Gordon? There's a little more of the scene after John and the T-800 trick the T-1000 when they call the dog by the wrong name.
What's the dog's name?
Max. What's wrong with Wolfie?
Wolfie's just fine.
Your foster parents are dead.
We get the T-1000 going out back, and it kills the dog so it can check its collar. It finds out the dog's name is Max instead of Wolfie, and you can infer that it knows it's been duped. You don't have to go murder a dog to get the point across. Luckily, Cameron cut this. It's the first rule of cinema. Never, ever, ever, ever kill a dog on screen. You know, unless it's John Wick or The Thing. And right after that, we get more detail on how the T-1000 works as he searches John Connor's room through touch. It shows a little more of Robert Patrick's performance, but it doesn't give us any new information, and we get little bits of the way he feels around in the movie if you just pay close attention. Our next scene is an extended version of the gas station sequence. This is probably the second most famous deleted scene in the movie. It's interesting because it explains how the Terminator can give a smirk later.
The CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer. But Skynet presets the switch to read only when we are sent out alone.
Can we reset the switch?
This sequence is really interesting and really elaborate, and I'm surprised that it got cut, but it's also an over-explanation of how the Terminator can learn human emotions. It's done much simpler in the theatrical cut.
A learning computer. The more contact I have with humans, the more I learn.
Boom, done. But there are some fantastic effects here, like the shot where Arnold is in the mirror, but the puppet is in the foreground, and then Linda Hamilton's twin sister doubles her in the fake mirror. And it just creates this cool unbroken shot where they can dig into the Terminator while Arnold is on the other side of the mirror.
That kind of made me sad because that scene got cut out because we took so much time to shoot this one scene.
The point of the scene is to build this cool moment of tension where Sarah is going to destroy the chip, but it also shows the Terminator as something incredibly vulnerable. It's almost too easy to take away the machine's power. It's also a nice beat to show John becoming more of a leader.
If I'm never supposed to be this great military leader, maybe you should start listening to my leadership ideas once in a while. So my own mother won't. How do you expect anyone else to?
But a lot of this stuff is better left inferred through his actions. So the scene goes. And without that scene, we don't get this absolutely ridiculous scene.
I mean, you're acting like such a geek. Smile once in a while. See that guy over there? That's a smile.
This has no business being in the movie. I'm glad it didn't make it, but I love it as an artifact, and both Arnold and Eddie Furlong's performances are really funny.
There was a critical slump in the middle of the film that had to be shortened, and the chip removal and the smile scene and a couple of those other little snippets all fall into that part of the film.
Also, what's with the obsession with getting the Terminator to smile and be just a little too goofy in all these movies? Terminator 3 had this deleted scene.
I'm Chief Master Sergeant William Candy. It's me.
Terminator Genesis was obsessed with him smiling.
It is nice to meet you.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
So weird. You know, the difference between the T-1000 and the T-800 physically is that you can tell when the T-800 is getting damaged. T-1000, you don't really get that sense in the movie, but in the deleted scenes, there was a little more showing the T-1000 losing its ability to control what it replicates. It's just a cool little moment here where the stripes from the railing attach themselves to it. It shows that it's getting damaged, and also sets up how John is able to differentiate the two Sarahs a few moments later in another deleted scene. See, originally, John could see that Sarah's legs weren't fully formed, and that's how he knew it wasn't his real mom. But that only works if you set up that the T-1000 is having trouble morphing. It's also better for the emotion of the scene that John can just simply tell who his real mom is.
Get out of the way, John. Shoot!
And finally, James Cameron tried to tie a bow on the Terminator franchise by ending T2 with a flash forward, revealing an old Sarah Connor watching John Connor play with his daughter in a park. They were successful and able to live out their days in peace, even though no one is aware of what they went through to save the world. It was universally hated in previews. It also adds this weird random detail that wouldn't have aged well.
August 29th, 1997 came and went. Nothing much happened. Michael Jackson turned 40.
Also, it's incorrect because MJ turned 40 in 1998. But John Connor is now a senator, and there's this very distracting, weird, futuristic frisbee shit going on in the background. I couldn't stop looking at it. The makeup work is what it is. It's okay. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look egregious. I don't think it would have worked. And then the VO is a little weird because it starts with Sarah talking into a recorder, which then would explain all of her VO for the entire movie. But then the last line is just in her head.
Maybe we can too.
It's kind of messy, a little cheesy, wears its heart on its sleeve. I can see how it would be incredibly jarring. I am so glad it did not make the movie. And there you have it. Most of these scenes were cut for brevity and pacing, though in the case of the alternate ending, it was a creative choice that came out of test screenings and was so last minute that James Cameron was on the phone with Linda Hamilton while she was recording her lines days before the movie was shipped to theaters. None of these scenes would have changed the movie significantly one way or another, but it's always cool to see little extra details, particularly with the T-1000 and how it operates. And even though I said in the T2 episode that the alternate ending might have closed the door on some of the more abysmal sequels in the franchise, I'm sure someone would have found a way around that definitive ending and still given us Terminator Genesis. We are doomed to a fate of endless attempts to recapture the glory of Terminator 2, but you can't improve on perfection, as these deleted scenes prove, and there will never be another Terminator 2.